Hello and welcome to AEW Rise to the Top, episode number 28. The series where we're trying to get AEW to be the biggest wrestling company in the world. That was a Jeremy Clarkson impersonation that was really bad. Anyway, last week we had a 64 rated show, which isn't great. We had that Big Swole Hikaru Shida match, which was pretty trash, to be honest. But let's hope that this week we're going to be back to our bleeding best. So let's just jump straight into the action. And we kick off tonight's show with Cheeseburger making his AEW debut, going one-on-one with the champion Kenny Omega. And it is, of course, Kenny Omega who picks up the victory in 5 minutes and 4 seconds with a one-winged angel. This gets a 53 rating overall, not too bad. And we are coming at you live in front of 7,160 people from the Santander Arena. So the Fallen Mental storyline advanced. Kenny Omega had an in-performance of 79, which is really good. Kenny Omega was penalized for inconsistency. Wow. It's not something you see every day. I don't know too much about Cheeseburger, but I recognize the name, and I think he's like a comedy wrestler. Let me know in the comments if that's right. But I might sign him. Like, he's quite popular. He's pretty decent, 47 in-ring rating. I'm sure we'll be able to get something going with him. Anyway, let's move on to the next segment, where for the second week in a row we have Julia in action. Julia this time taking on cheerleader Melissa. And in a bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling, it is Julia who picks up the victory in 14 minutes 54 by submission. I need to add her finisher names in, because I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head. It's got a 48 rating, very decent match. Julia had a 44 performance, cheerleader Melissa had a 47. Let's take a quick look at the dirt sheet. Julia was penalized for inconsistency, and cheerleader Melissa was penalized for stamina. So maybe this match slightly too long for Melissa. But yeah, a very decent matchup. Julia, now 2 weeks in a row, picking up 2 big victories. One of them in the main event last week, and this one to almost kick off the show tonight. Very impressive start to her AEW career. We'll have to see where it goes from here. And then we just have Julia celebrating in the ring, just a 39 rating. A short segment, nothing really to write home about, but not terrible. Next up, we have Private Party taking on Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall, the Natural Nightmares, in tag team action. And of course, it is Private Party picking up the victory in 9 minutes 52 when Isaiah Cassidy pinned Dustin Rhodes with the gin and juice. Mark Quinn had a 57, Cassidy had a 58, QT Marshall had a 36. Yeah, I got ideas with it. Oops. I've got ideas with what I want to do with this. Dustin Rhodes had a performance of 59. So Dustin Rhodes, like in his 50s and the highest rated performer in that matchup? Good for him. This got a 58 rating overall. This is a very mid-50s show so far, it seems like. Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn penalized for inconsistency. Dustin Rhodes for poor momentum and declining physical ability, and QT Marshall for inconsistency. Yeah, like a pretty decent match so far. A pretty decent show so far, quite average. Let's move on to the next segment and hope that it improves. Oh, and there we go. There we go. So we see Pac in a dark room. He says that since Death Triangle got jumped by the Elite, the fans have come around on him. He says that he appreciates that and even enjoys it, but warns the AEW roster that he is still the same bastard he's always been. He then says that he's fed up of not knowing who they'll be facing at the New Year special, and lets the crowd know that next week there will be a #1 contenders match for the Trios Championship. This got a 76. The Death of the Circle storyline advanced with this segment. Excalibur was weak. This is like the one promo that I forgot to turn the announcers off for. Bleeding Excalibur. Yeah, a nice little promo. Next week we're having a #1 contenders match, but we don't know who's going to be in it yet. Ooh, suspense. Let's move on to the next segment, where we have MJF taking on Matt Cardona. And in a bout that had good heat and decent wrestling, it is MJF who picks up the victory in 15 minutes and 29 seconds with the Salt of the Earth, making Matt Cardona tap out. It's got a 64 rating. Once again, none of these matches really delivering too much. It's going to be quite a low rated show so far. Hopefully the main event sort of picks it up a little bit. MJF was penalised for holding back and for low morale. Matt Cardona was penalised for holding back and poor momentum. So a 64 with all those negatives is not too bad. The match got the crowd hotter, which is good. But yeah, MJF still on the hunt for that TNT championship. Still unaware of what's going on with it. What's going on with Shawn Spears. What's going on with him getting another shot at that championship. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Let's move on to the next segment. 61. That's really bad for this. Kathy Kelly is backstage interviewing Cody. She starts by asking Cody why he and the Young Bucks have been attacking Hangman Page. Cody says that Hangman never deserved to be in the Elite, and the only reason they ever offered him a role was because they needed someone to carry their bags. He also says that next week Matt Jackson will be taking on Page in singles action, and they will finally expose Hangman for the fraud that he is. So next week, 2 big matches. We've got the trios number 1 contenders match, and we've also got Hangman Page taking on Matt Jackson in one-on-one action. Segment got a 61 rating, which is pretty good. The old friends storyline has automatically advanced with this segment. Kathy Kelly did not come out of this looking good. Cody was fantastic, and Kathy Kelly did not do well without a script to follow. Kathy Kelly was penalised for improvising badly and for having a poor gimmick. I forgot to script her. Actually, I'll be right back, 2 seconds. Okay, and we're back with the next segment. I just had to do some card management, I guess you'd call it. But we are back with Toni Storm taking on Jamie Hayter. And in a bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Okay, this doesn't say what happened, and it doesn't say what I set up. So what happens is Jamie Hayter is taking on Toni Storm. Toni Storm is clearly winning the match. She's clearly winning the match. Big Swole comes out, distracts Toni Storm, and Jamie Hayter picks up the victory with a quick, cheeky roll-up. So Jamie Hayter does pick up the victory. Toni Storm, another loss on her record in AEW, which has been pretty terrible so far. I think she's won 1 match since she's joined. And Big Swole still being a big nuisance. That wasn't anything, was it? Segment got a 46 rating, which isn't too bad. Jamie Hayter had a 44 and Toni Storm had a 54. Toni Storm was penalised for a poor gimmick. That was the only penalty. And Jamie Hayter is getting... popularity is getting up there, which is good because I think she's great. Let's move on to the next segment where we have another backstage interview with Kathy Kelly, this time interviewing Riho. She asked Riho about why she's been interrupting Kenny and what she hopes to achieve. Riho says that Kenny has been an inspiration to wrestle and the reason that she left Japan in the first place. This new man that she sees before her isn't the man that she knew anymore, and she just wants the old Kenny back. So yeah, Riho, poor momentum. Kathy Kelly, poor. Like 29 is bad. It's bad, but it's not a match. So hopefully it's not too bad. Like for this overall score. But yeah, Riho just wants her old pal Kenny back. So who knows what's gonna happen with that. Let's move on to the main event. No, it's not. No, here we go. So we have Hikaru Shida taking on the number 1 contender for the Women's World Championship, Maria Manic. And in a bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but terrible wrestling, it is Maria Manic who picks up the victory in 12 minutes 34 seconds with a chokehold, making the former champion tap out. So last week, Maria Manic defeated Nyla Rose, one former champion. This week, she defeated Hikaru Shida. And I can tell you that next week, she will be going one-on-one with Tenille Dashwood. So, we can see what Maria is trying to do here. She's trying to forge a path by taking on former women's champions or former women's champion championship contenders, to really solidify herself as not just a person who luckily won a battle royal, but someone who is a real contender for Britt Baker's championship. This has got a 45 rating. Hikaru Shida got a 39. Maria Manic had a 42. The up-and-comer storyline advanced with this segment. The only bad thing is Maria Manic penalised for an awful gimmick. But yeah, not too bad. 45 segment is very nice. And now we're going on to the main event of the evening. Yep. In a superb match between Jon Moxley and Jasper Cowan, it ends after 8 minutes and 35 seconds when the match descends into chaos after Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler become involved. So, Moxley's going to beat Cowan. Look at the performance ratings, 89 and 57. Moxley, handily getting involved, and then FTR come down to save their four horsemen stablemate, friend, buddy. And the match just descends into chaos. The referee has to officially throw the match out, ending it in a draw. The segment was penalised due to the greatest team in the world storyline, Low Heat, and the segment was penalised for the type of finish. Yeah, see, I knew it was going to get a bad finish. This show is not going to be very good. But let's move on to the final segment of the show. That is a bit more like it, though, isn't it? So the Horsemen, 3 members of the Horsemen, are all laying into Moxley when Darby Allin's music starts to play. He comes down to the ring with his skateboard that's been covered in thumbtacks. He swings at Cash but misses. He then turns and connects the skateboard into Cowan's back. We see the tacks stuck into his back as he falls out of the ring. FTR carry Cowan to the back while Darby helps Moxley to his feet. The 2 men in the ring shake hands. So we saw last week, I think, Darby Allin go into Jon Moxley's house to check up on him after the beating that he went through at Full Gear from Kenny Omega. And now, they seem to have struck up a working relationship, shall we say. Darby Allin coming down to help out Jon Moxley. It's got an 88 rating, which is wonderful. The greatest team in the world storyline has advanced and gained heat. Jon Moxley came across well, improvised well. At the announcing desk, Excalibur was pretty weak. Segment was penalised for the announcing work of Excalibur, and the segment rating was penalised due to the greatest team in the world's low heat. But that did gain heat from this segment, so hopefully we shouldn't be having that in the future. So that is the end of the show. Rating wise, I don't see it being higher than last week's. I think there was a lot of 50. I think it could be like a high 50s show. I've really lost the knack with this. I know the points are mainly done through the matches. I figured that out. Stories are built through the promos. I'm a promo guy. I like the story over the matches, but I know I need to start putting as much thought into the matches as I do into the promos, I think. But the overall rating was actually 67, so higher than last week, which is pretty good. The show lost us popularity in 9 regions, but gained us in 14 regions, and we would have gained popularity in 1 British region, but growth was restricted due to the limited number of viewers there. So yeah, a pretty lackluster, average show. The Pac promo being a highlight, and then that ending, Darby Allin coming out to save Jon Moxley. A wonderful end to the show. Again, we got strong endings. It's just the rest of the 2 hours is the tough bit. But let's go back to the menu. Let's do the emails. We'll check the news, all that kind of stuff, and we'll see if we manage to beat NXT this week. Fingers crossed. I'll see you in a sec. Okay, and we are back on the main menu. Let's see how we got on. So we know we got a 67. We got a 1.84 TV rating. Let's see, NXT got a 74 and a 2.04 TV rating. Yeah. See, look at the matches. The matches are good. Which is where I went wrong, really. Triple H again. Why are they just doing interviews with Triple H every week? Just because they can. You don't see me doing that. I don't have Triple H, but you know what I mean. And Ring of Honor, a 78, not quite an 80 this time, and a 1.92 TV rating. 79 main event. Brody King and Dalton Castle defeating Kenny King and Filthy Tom Lawler. So let's take a look at the news articles. We'll look at New Japan Tag League as well. A 75, of course. Hiromu Takahashi and Zack Sabre Jr. lost. Rizuka Taguchi. Oh, okay, it was a triple threat match. Because it was a tag league, I was expecting all the matches to be tag matches. AJ Styles and Kenta. Oh, that would be a nice match to see. we did try, and I'm sad we didn't get AJ Styles, but also, you know, these things happen. So let's take a look. So we got last night's Ring of Honor, last night's New Japan, last night's NXT, last night's Dynamite. Ring of Honor, Joe Hennig and Shane Taylor have teamed up, going for the tag team. WWE rejection. Sasha Banks is set to leave WWE. I mean, we have to, right? Like we have to. 26,000 a month for 3 years. 20% bonus. Travel costs are covered. Normally I don't do these on camera, but I mean, Sasha Banks wants to leave WWE. We've got to do it. Ring of Honor again looking to sign more people. So Jamie Hayter's contract was running out, so we just did that. I'll have a look at that, make sure that we're still leading that contract negotiations, because we've put a lot of effort into pushing her, and you know, I'm trying to sign her on an exclusive deal. So I'm trying to sign her on an exclusive deal. So we'll just jump over to her contract now, and make sure that we're still in the lead. There we go. So we'll have a look at the other offers, but currently, as you can see there, our offer is currently the only one she's seriously considering. So Stardom are offering her $630 for show. We're offering her $600 for 23 months with a signing bonus of $158. Merchandise cut 15%, while we're doing 15%. We're giving her a 20%. Rev Pro is $630, same deal, actually, completely between those two. So we still are leading the negotiations to get Jamie Hayter signed to an exclusive 3-year deal, and really cheap as well, £600 per show, and she's shaping up to be a big part of our women's division, so that's good. Like I said last episode, if there's anything you'd like to see in the save, let me know. Like WWE champions, things like that. We'll have a look through all that stuff. And also, I started streaming on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/why did I do that 14. I'll put a link in the description, so if you wanna, it's not wrestling focused. I'm playing a lot of Splunky and Bioshock and Stardew Valley and stuff like that at the moment. So if that seems like your kind of thing, come on over. It's a good time. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon. Thank you. Bye.